Live from Ibiza, this is Café Diem with your host, Michelle Reed, and my guest, Neil Beechey, Mr. Commando Fit. How are we today, Neil?
Very good, Michelle. How are you doing?
Yeah, really well. I know that you've been out training already.
I have, already done my first session of the day, and then I've got another one straight afterwards, so it's all good. I'm very grateful to be in this kind of weird time that we're all living in. So.
Totally. It's you've had to very much go online, haven't you, in quite a quick succession?
Yeah, well, obviously the same as everyone else with the lockdown happening, has to find ways to kind of work around it and keep our clients happy. So I took things online with my group sessions, which was actually really cool because I got to connect with lots of clients that maybe are not in my Ibiza all the time. So I work with a lot of national clients that come over the summer. So I was able to reconnect with them and also infuse the yoga into things that I'm sure we'll talk about a little bit more.
Cool.
So that's what my group sessions. And then from that, I'm also doing private PT sessions as well.
Cool. Before we jump into that though, Neil, you got to tell me what kind of coffee you're drinking. It's a prerequisite for all guests that they at least consume coffee in some way or another. So last week we had Emma Sabin, who mushroom coffee, not the ceremony kind, but the really healthy kind. So tell me, what are you drinking, Neil?
Well, I've not tried mushroom coffee yet. You're going to be disappointed with what I tell you.
Okay, I won't never be disappointed. It's just an open, honest conversation about coffee.
Granules, I'm afraid.
Granules.
Because I have quite a lengthy morning process. So I make my porridge every morning with raw cacao and fruits and seeds and nuts. So I make a breakfast for everyone. Yeah. And now it's an extra person to feed as well. So I have to make him breakfast as well. So I go for the easy option. So I use coffee granules, but then I elevate it to the next level when I add my oat milk with one of these boys.
Which, one of the whizzers.
Hand percolator. So you give that a blast and it gives it a nice creamy barista type froth.
I love it. What oat milk are you using? We have some people who
almost everyone is using oat milk. So actually, with Yo Soy is the one I tend to go for. That's quite good. But I think, was it you and Danny Plant were talking about Lidl oat milk? So I need to try that.
You absolutely have to try that. It's the best one for sure.
Because some of them don't mix as well as others. But with the percolator, it gives you half a chance. You get a nice mix with most of it. But Yo Soy is good.
Cool. So the granule man, that's, I think for most people, just the sort of like instant is just like an easy, quick one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's easy. And also we like to go out for a nice coffee as well. So I've thought about maybe investing. I'd really like a nice, proper sort of posh coffee machine, really nice one. But then how many coffees can you drink in a day? Where does it stop? I don't know. If I've got a really good coffee machine, I could easily just keep refilling up. So I'd rather wait for a nice coffee when I go out somewhere and just stick to the bog standard one at home.
On that one then, when you go out with the family, where do you go for your coffee when you have a nice one?
So I go, lots of different places. We always go to different cafes, but actually, if I was going to go for a really nice coffee, I've realized that all the coffee that I like is the place that's stuck Meke Coffee, which I know you like as well. So there's a little one in Sanchilalia Square. I'm not sure if they've reopened yet. Project Social have Meke and Soul Good. Mm-hmm. You know Soul Good?
Yes, we were there on the weekend for a birthday, actually, for Emma's birthday. So yeah, I do. I'm familiar with it.
Cool. So he does Meke Coffee, and he's really good with his barista skills because it's also about how you make the coffee, as you know, and also with the beans that you use. So talking to Yuri about it, and he spent thousands of hours at Cappuccino learning how to make the perfect coffee. So He's got those things together. So I reckon he's got probably one of the best coffees on the island. Okay,
cool. That's interesting. Because not to jump ahead too much, but my next guest is Musa, who owns Moo's Kitchen in Calianga, and we think he has the best coffee on the island. But however, was at Passion yesterday in the new one on Bar de Rey and had a wonderful iced coffee. And that's one thing that the Spanish don't do to my taste is iced coffee. They just give you one hielo, and I want a full cup of hielo, and then I want my coffee on top. So
where was that, in Bar de Rey?
The new Passion that's open on Bar de Rey.
I've got one there. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so beautiful. I really suggest you check that out if you want a good coffee and some good food as well.
I'll check it out. I need to go to Moo's as well. So I hear he does amazing falafels, which I like.
Yeah, he's an amazing man as well. So yeah, you'll get to meet him a bit more next week on Café Diem as well. Cool, Neil. So coffee man, not such a big coffee man in the house, but outside with the family, nice to go for a nice coffee. Friend, understand. Okay. Cool. So from about coffee, I want you to spill the beans, Neil. So we're all going to spill the beans here. And generally, I like to start with your origin story. And what do I mean by origin story? Your superhero story. What got you into health and fitness in the first place? I know you have a long history, and I'm really looking forward to hearing about it, actually. So tell me, Demi.
Quite a long story. I'll take you back to sort of school level, I guess. So I became interested in like martial arts, going to staying at my grandma's house when I was a kid. She was a pretty cool grandma, and she used to have all the Bruce Lee films, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Cool.
So I used to go to my grandma's house, and I'd spend the weekends watching Bruce Lee films and wanting to be him, basically. So then I sort of dabbled with various martial arts when I was a kid. I didn't really exactly find the right one for me. It took me a little while. And I guess when I got to sort of maybe 14, 15, I joined a karate group, and the guy that did the karate group also ran a kickboxing group. So I got into kickboxing and karate, then went to college after school. I didn't have any idea what I wanted to do with myself after school. I knew I enjoyed fitness. Did a couple of years doing computing, did a computer course, hated it, never wanted to sit down at a desk and do a computing job again. Spent a couple of years building motorbikes, hated that. Like, neither of those were me. So I knew I didn't want to do anything really manual. I knew I didn't want to do anything sort of techie. And in the back of my head, I had an idea that I wanted to join the Navy because I wanted to travel. Cool. So this is what I was thinking to myself the whole time when I was spending hours building motorbikes and hating every minute of it. What's my escape route? There was also a dream to join the Marines, which I never really considered that seriously. And then one day something just pinged in my head, and I was like, right, I'm going to apply. I'm going to send off the forms. So they used to have adverts in the magazines for the Marines. Something snapped in me, and I was like, let's just give it a go. What's the worst that can happen? So I got called into the careers office for my mini interview. And then they decided they're going to send you on a potential Royal Marines course, which lasts sort of 3 days, which is 3 days of them basically just feasting you, which feasting is like I don't know how to class it other than like an hour or 2 hours, whatever they call it, of hell. Flashing you up and down, press ups, burpees, sprints, weights on your back, make you sick, carry on, sleep deprivation. So this goes on for a few days, and they see who they've got left at the end of it and who they want to keep, basically. And at the end of it, I wasn't sure how well I'd done. I managed to come top of my section, which I'm not really, like, people that know me, I'm not your typical kind of Marine soldier type, I guess. I wasn't really expecting that. And that was how it kind of began my Marine career, I guess. They invited me to come back and do the full training course, which was 30 weeks. So I spent almost a year at the Commando training centre.
Oh my God. Where is it, Neil? Where in the UK is it?
So it's near Exeter.
Okay.
So a place called Lympstone.
Okay.
You go down there on a train on your first day, and there's these horrible barbed wire. What you can see is the assault course, the bottom field, they call it, to greet you. And your heart just sort of sinks. And then that's it then. Like, you're allowed maybe, I think, 1 weekend off in the first 6 months, something like that.
Wow.
They're building you up and breaking you down continuously. And most people don't make it. Like, there's 1 in 10 that make it, apparently, from the initial point to the end. That's not saying there's anything special about me. I just think I got to a certain point where there was nothing else to go back home to. So there was no other option for me. It was like, I've got to get through this. What am I going to go back to? Whereas I saw if I did the Marines, I'd gained so much from it in terms of confidence and traveling. And I thought it would lead to my next career path or whatever I did next, which is what happened. So thankfully I survived.
I would also say that there's something very special about you, Neil, because that's a mindset thing. Do you know what I mean? A lot of people, the mind would give up before the body. So there's definitely something special about you. You never think that. That's for sure. That's incredible.
Yeah, and that's what they teach you. And I guess that's a good quality for me to have as a personal trainer, because I can see the mind gives up at like 20% apparently. So they think now. So that's when your mind starts to say you can't do the things you want to do because it's in its comfort zone. So once you push past that point, like by the end of Marine training, you're doing 30 milers with rocks in your rucksack after having no sleep and doing a week of tests. So they're showing you that you can push yourself to those limits, and then you can carry that with you, and then you can hopefully help other people with it. So that's what I'm doing now. That's
really interesting. I guess along with the physical stuff, though, there's a lot of learning and education as well. Like, you sitting in classrooms as well.
Yeah, and that's one of the hardest parts, actually. Yeah. There's loads to learn, whether it's weapon drills or observational skills or mental tests, and there's loads of horrible things they put you through, like gas chambers and all sorts of stuff. But the sleep deprivation I found is like one of the hardest things to deal with, because they get you up in the middle of the night, they'll drag you down to the bottom field, they call it like a muddy, you've got an estuary at the bottom of Livingston, and you'll put your uniform on, they'll take you down there at 3 a.m, get you out of your bed, take you down there, roll you around in the mud several times, take you back up to your beds, let you sleep for 20 minutes, do the same thing in your next uniform, and then at 4, 5 a.m, whenever they decide, you've got to have it all laid out immaculately.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So this can happen day after day after day, and they just want you to say, yeah, I want to go home. That's all they want. They want you to volunteer that you want to go. So
incredible. So almost a year, and then how long were you actually in service?
So I did about 4.5 years. You have to do 4 years minimum with the Marines.
Okay.
Because apparently it costs like $500,000 to train a commando up from start to finish. So they obviously want to get their investment back. Lots of people want to leave as soon as they can. And you tend to have two types of people, I think. Like you've got the career soldier, or especially with the Marines, you have people that want to join for like their minimum time, like their 4 years, because they want to travel, they want to see the world, they want to achieve the green beret, the commando tests, and everything else that goes with it. But then they want to leave after that point. So I always had it in my head that after 4 years, I'd look for something else, basically.
Okay. Yeah. And so a tough 4 years, or just
ups and downs. Yeah. Like I was definitely very happy to leave. But I had some amazing experiences, and I think the time I was in was really good time to serve, actually. Like I wouldn't want to do it now. Like you spent far too much time in the desert. Like when I was there, I went straight to Sierra Leone. I did 2 tours of Sierra Leone, spent quite a bit of time in the jungle. That was an amazing experience, meeting like the locals that live in Sierra Leone that have nothing, and spending time with them. I went to Norway and did my Arctic training. I went out to Iraq. I traveled. I was on the ships quite a lot. Like I saw you with Dan Cater, so he was in the Navy. He knows what that's all about. It's an amazing experience, but spending a lot of time on the ships as well. Like you're desperate to get off them by the end, and that's what people go a bit mad when they go on leave and run ashore, they call it.
Yeah. And on the ships, was there like, at this point though, obviously, because you have to keep your physical fitness up, right, as well as your mental health and everything. So do they promote that? They want you to continue to work out and train and that sort of thing, or what's that like?
Yeah, I mean, that's all we did, because there wasn't a lot else to do. Like we'd do some lectures and weapons drills and different bits and pieces, and obviously learn about the operation that we were going towards or what we might be involved with next. But apart from that, you were encouraged to train as much as possible. So there was a little gym on the ship, so we used to go in there, and there was a rowing machine and weights, and we'd try and beat each other's records for like 5,000 meter rows. You could go up on the flight deck, which is actually really an amazing experience. I used to find, like, go on the flight deck and all you can see is the ocean all around you, and the dolphins would be out some days. You go swimming around the top deck. So there's like amazing moments to it, as well as the kind of tough side of it. Of
course. That's incredible, Neil. That's really incredible. So Q Commando Fit Ibiza, how did that happen? So we go from 4 years in the Royal Marines to now Mr. Commando Fit, tell me, how did that happen? Well, how did you guys first come here?
After the Marines, I left in 2003. And I spent a few years traveling, basically. So traveling around the world. I packed my bags, I booked a one-way ticket to Thailand. I didn't really know what I wanted to do still. So I was looking for some inspiration. Kind of thought in the back of my head, maybe I'll meet a girl as well, if I'm lucky.
Yeah.
So set off, traveled around, spent some time in Vietnam, which is where I met Sophie, my wife. Cool. We were just friends at the time. So I hung out there for a little bit, did a bit of DJing. So it fits in a little bit more with the Ibiza style things as well. Traveled for a bit more, said goodbye to Sophie at a certain point. We were just friends, went off to Australia for a year, carried on traveling kind of on and off for another year, actually. And then I did the London Marathon in 2007. And I sent an email, like a sponsorship email, around to everyone, all my friends. Sophie got back in touch with me, was like, oh, if you're doing the London Marathon, I'm in London, come down and say hello. So we met up when I did the marathon in 2007. The timing was right. And at that time, I was thinking, like, I want to settle down a little bit now. I'm going to do my personal training course. Okay. She was in London anyway. So she said, why don't you come down, move in with me, and you can do your personal training course in London. So perfect timing. So, okay, sounds like a deal. So moved in with Sophie, did my personal training course. And then I got a job with Nuffield Health, who run a lot of the corporate fitness centres in London, Canary Wharf, I worked for JP Morgan, which is like an investment bank. So I became one of their trainers. So I was training all the stressed out bankers in the corporate environment, which I really enjoyed. And at the same time, I was learning loads. Like they paid me to do loads of courses. So I became like a spin boxer size, body pump, did a course in myofascial release, pre and postnatal. So it was a really good experience, and it kind of laid the foundations before I came to Ibiza. So moving on to Ibiza, we were coming here on holiday quite a bit, and then we got married here eventually. After kind of falling in love with the island over various trips, some of our friends got married here. We realised how beautiful the island is. And then we got married here in 2011 on Nublau Beach, actually. So not far from Solgood, that we were just talking about, at Pura Vida. And while we were over here getting married, I spoke to the lady who did our ceremony. And she mentioned she knew someone here that was personal training. I don't think there was many personal trainers here, really, kind of in those days.
At the time, different story now.
Definitely changed a bit, yeah. So, and then we went on a honeymoon to Vietnam, and on the way back, I had a bit of an epiphany, I think. So, obviously feeling a bit depressed, coming back on my honeymoon back to England, and me and Sophie talked a little bit about where we want to go and live. We wanted to live somewhere overseas. We didn't want to stay in England. So I think she was asleep at the time. I went to the toilet, I came back, and I woke her up, and I said, let's move to Ibiza. And Sophie, being Sophie, was like, yeah, all right. That's what she's like. So we said, all right, the way to do it is we go back, we quit our jobs as quickly as we can. We tell everyone we're going to do it, and we can't back down. So that's what we did. And then we moved out basically 6 months later with just all our belongings, got rid of what we could, a couple of suitcases, and kind of knocked on the door of Ibiza without knowing anyone, and had to start from scratch. I used to walk around putting up little posters on the lampposts saying boot camp starting tomorrow, and just built it up really from there. So started my boot camps, picked up the old client here and there, and fast forward 8 years, and here I am.
Crazy. And fast forward, like I say, a lot more personal trainers on the island as well.
Yeah, which is nice. It's actually really nice now. Like it's opened it up so much, and there's so many different retreats and trainers here, and it's nice to have more fitness professionals, and also for the outside world to see the island as not just a party place. It's great that you can come and do that, and we've all done it, but it's also like an amazing health island, and such a nice place to come for a different sort of holiday.
And I believe, have you done retreats, or you have done retreats, right? As Commando?
Yeah, so I've worked on quite a lot of retreats myself, like with various retreat companies on the island. What I do at the moment is I offer sort of bespoke retreats, if you like, so personal training holidays. So depending on what my clients want, if they say they want to come out for maybe 3 or 4 days as a group of 4 or 5 people, I'll organise things for them. So we organise a hotel to suit. I'll organise across the island. We'll go and train on cliff tops. Or maybe we go trail running. Now obviously I can do yoga with them as well. So I do kind of like personal training holidays basically at the moment.
Cool. That's wonderful. It's great, isn't it? It's a really great place to come do that. And like you say, you can maybe spend a night in a club, but know that you're just going to be working on your health for the rest of the time.
Lots of the clients do that. They come out here and they're having a normal sort of holiday, but they want to balance it out. So they go out, but they also want to feel good. So sweat out toxins a bit as well. It
is all about balance on Ibiza for sure. And then now fast forward to, what was it, last year? To India to do a yoga teacher training as well. So you have so many credentials behind you. It's incredible, Neil. You're very special. Never let anybody tell you otherwise. You have a lot going on. So quickly highlight some of the teacher training in India.
Yeah, so basically last year, I turned 40 last year, and also obviously became a father as well. So I was kind of looking ahead a little bit more, thinking what's going to serve me best and my clients best, because as we start to get a bit older, you've got to kind of work out what's going to be best for everyone involved. So I was doing yoga anyway, like by myself quite a bit, because I realized it was helping me in terms of like back pain and any restrictions, which everyone gets, like even if you're fit and healthy, we all get it, we're all human. So I was doing lots of flexibility work, yoga, meditation. So it all pointed in that direction. So me and Sophie sat down and we figured out if we could do it, basically, if it would work. So we found a nice place for those two to stay. We all went out as a family, found a nice yoga shala in India where they did Ashtanga and Hatha yoga. So that was the two areas we focused in. And then went out there for like 2 months over Christmas. And it was amazing. Yeah, southern India, Kerala is beautiful. So nice.
Oh, Kerala, I didn't realize that. Yeah, that's incredible, because most people train in the north.
Yeah, so we went there because Sophie had been there once before on her travels, and also we'd been to Sri Lanka before, which is obviously quite close. So I knew it'd be a similar sort of vibe, and it was. And the people were just as nice as the Sri Lankan people were. Amazing food. Yeah, I had a really, really good time, and hopefully we'll go back again.
Cool. Yeah. That's incredible. Yeah, the food, I think. I've been to India myself, not for yoga teacher training, but we only stayed in the north, and Kerala is definitely somewhere I'd always want to go. So you highly recommend it, do you?
Well, definitely recommend it. Yeah. Okay. And I want to do the reverse. I want to check out the north.
Yeah. But. Yeah. Which is it's something you have to do as well.
Yeah.
Cool. But so now offering yoga and personal training and fitness and running and everything that you can possibly imagine, boxing included. Tell me a little bit more specifically about your business, Neil. So who do you help? What are the people that are coming to see you now, and what are you doing for them, and what bit more about your business?
Pretty, I'd say wide array of clients. It's like I don't think I've got a particular client base. I think I probably attract different clients for different reasons. Mm-hmm. Maybe some guys are more appeal more to like the marine aspect. Maybe these days people are more inclined to look towards the yoga side of me. I don't know, but I've got like a nice mixture, like 50% females, 50% males. I've trained kids, I've trained 80-year-olds, so a little bit of everything. And I offer bespoke training to suit them, and then it's good for me then, because I quite like the variety. You never know, every day's a little bit different. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What kind of, so that's quite broad, so not particularly niche, quite a broad spectrum. And what kind of help do you give them?
It depends what they want. I mean, I've got quite a lot of experience to draw upon now, so people need help. I think your initial consultation or chat when you meet your first client, you kind of have a sense of what they need. And some people need more help. Maybe they need to de-stress. So I try to help them more. There's breathing techniques we can use. Talk about meditation. I'm a big meditation fan. I think it opens up so many doors. Once you become aware that you are not your thoughts, that's a big revelation for most people, and that most people don't realize that. So you can step away from that, and you can start to manage your own mind a little bit, and your life becomes a lot easier. So I always try and help people with that aspect of things, as well as the physical side of things. And then obviously there's the nutrition. So try and eat a pretty healthy diet. I'm kind of predominantly plant-based. I eat a little bit of meat and fish, but mainly vegetable-based to get the most amount of nutrients possible on a daily basis. So I try and promote that to my clients as much as possible as well.
Mm-hmm. And do you find that nutrition or fitness or yoga, what is it that most people are looking for right now after lockdown?
So it depends. I'd say most people probably struggle with their nutrition the most. Just breaking up a little bit. I'll just carry on. I can see you again now. Probably nutrition the most. I think some people, like a lot of people, get overwhelmed with their nutrition. I think this is the problem. Like, there's so many diets and bad diets, and like you can really go in depth into the science of nutrition, like micronutrients, macronutrients. Whereas actually you just need to get the basics right. So I try and help people with that. Are you drinking enough water? How much of your diet is from processed foods? Mm-hmm. Are you getting enough sleep? Are you eating enough vegetables? And some people's food diaries, that's like a starting point for me, is getting to do a basic food diary. And then you look at it and you're like, oh, ice cream for breakfast. Okay, that's probably a bit of a red flag. Yeah. But some people just don't realize, or maybe there's a bottle of wine sneaking in at lunchtime most days. Things like this happen, and it just becomes a habit, and people don't realize. So I think it's our job as trainers to highlight those things and not overwhelm them.
Of course, it can be quite overwhelming if somebody's looking for a transformation, for sure. Have you? Sorry.
Yeah, I don't think you can do too much in one go. You got to do it in little baby steps. So people make small changes.
Well, yeah, people looking for the quick fix as well. And I think it's because health and fitness, there's a lot of people out there that promote, you can change your body in 8 weeks and you can do this in 6 weeks. And it's just like long-term strategies for lifestyle, right? And it's a lot of people.
Exactly. And the same with like the juicing and everything else. Like, it's good, but you can't fix all the bad habits with like a few days of juicing, which a lot of people think they can do. You've got to play the long game, basically. It's the only way to do it. You've got to win most of your battles. So if you're eating healthy and you're doing healthy things most of the time, you can go out and have some pizza or fish and chips or a couple of beers. But you've got to be doing the good things, the positive things for most of the time. And then you'll get and achieve the results that you want.
Yeah, cool. And how do you know that you've helped somebody, that they have achieved the results? And of course, reviews are great, but what does it feel for you? What's the feeling for you when you know that you've done a good job?
I think even even every session, you know what it's like as a trainer. Often you meet people, you turn up for the session, they're in a bad mood, they're a bit stressed out. By the end of a session, they're really happy, their endorphins are flowing, and they're happy to see you. They're not necessarily happy to see you at the start of the session. So that's how you know. Long term, obviously, you can see the results in their client. You know, their body's changing, they seem more relaxed, they're thanking you for it. Usually, like a lot of my client base is from word of mouth, so that's always a good indicator if people are willing to refer you to your friend. Don't do too much advertising now. A bit on Facebook and Instagram, but I don't really do any paid adverts unless I'm launching something new. So yeah.
No flyers on posts anymore, Neil.
No, not anymore. God, yeah, well, yeah, it's like a lifetime ago now.
That was incredible. Okay, so how can people find you, Neil? If this sounds like something that they want to get involved with, what are the best ways to get a hold of you?
Yeah, sorry, breaking up a little bit. I think you're saying.
I was just saying, how can people find you? What are the best ways to get a hold of you?
The best way is still really, we've got our website, Commando Fit Ibiza, so they can drop us an email on there. We've also got our blog that we update regularly. Instagram, Commando Fit Ibiza, and then our Facebook page, you can do in the search box, Commando Fit Ibiza. So kind of all over the main social media pages. You can drop me a message if you want to discuss anything. Cool. Or write a little comment. Cool. Yeah.
And lastly, plans for the summer. So what does Commando Fit Ibiza have planned for the summer? You back on the beach?
Yeah. I put the beach sessions on hold, my beach sessions, which I usually do most summers anyway. It gets a bit hot on the beach. I can find my usual regulars are quite busy doing usual summer things. It's a bit different this year. And the beaches get busy and hot. So I'm going to put those off till after the summer, focus on my private sessions. I've also got my Lockdown Warrior online group going. So a lot of the guys that did my beach sessions are now doing that as well. Cool. So I'm going to keep going with that in some regard throughout the summer. I might have to change the timings a little bit. But yeah, keep going out, mixing up the fitness and the yoga and then personal training.
Cool. Awesome. Okay. Now, question for you.
Yeah.
Boxing or breath work?
Let's go breath work.
Okay. You have about 30 seconds or so, because I know you have to finish this up and get on to your next client. So please, if you could, give me a little breath work session. Give everybody a little breath work session that is watching us today that they can take home, or if they feel stressed at all today, they can just call for this. Okay,
so here's a simple one that you can do, which is like 4-7-8 breathing, it's called. So you get yourself in a comfortable place if you can. You inhale deeply for 4 up through your nose. You hold for 7 at the top, and then you exhale slowly for 8. So I'll do one round if you like. With you.
Yeah, let's do it.
You do 4 rounds, and it's actually really amazing the effects that it has on the head. It really relaxes the body. So we're going to inhale deeply through the nose for 4. So ready? So inhale nose only. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then hold for 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then you exhale slowly through the mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, and then you would repeat round, but it'll probably get a bit boring if we do loads of laps of this. But you get the idea. You can probably feel it already. Like if I do just one set of that, if I'm feeling like a little bit wound up or whatever, I can already feel a bit kind of floaty and more relaxed. It's a nice one.
And how many rounds would you suggest when people have the time?
4 rounds is good to make a good change, and that doesn't take you too long. It's only going to take you maybe a minute. 8 rounds is good if you've got a little bit more time. But yeah, I'd say just 4 rounds of it whenever you feel a bit anxious or stressed to relax yourself.
So 4-7-8, everybody.
4-7-8. Yeah, that's
something I should be practicing before I go live on Facebook for sure.
Yeah, no, I do it before my Zoom sessions sometimes. I didn't actually do it before this one, but maybe I should have.
Cool. Well, thank you, Neil. I really appreciate it. I really, really, really appreciate being my sixth gift, my 6th guest on Café Diem, and for taking the time out and having a coffee with me in your busy schedule. So it's a good thing I got you now before you get too busy into the summer. I just want to make a mention about next week, and I also want to give your social handle so people can find you as well, which will be in the description box below. So as I said, we will have Musa from Moose Salads and Moose Kitchen in Cala Yanga Ibiza's healthy food provider. So that's Moo's Salads, one of my favorite places in Ibiza that has fantastic coffee, and looking forward for you to trying it too, Neil. And platforms for Neil, as Facebook, as he said, you can find him in Commando Fit Ibiza if you put it in the description box, or it is at Ibiza Fitness, I believe.
Yeah.
And then Instagram, same, Commando Fit Ibiza. And then, of course, on the web, commandofitibiza.com. So very easy, very easy for everybody. No underscores.
In terms of the main areas, so easy to find.
Yeah, absolutely. And for Café Diem, again, very easy. I've kept it very simple for everybody. It is Café Diem Ibiza on Instagram, Facebook, and SoundCloud. And then, of course, if you type in Café Diem Ibiza, you'll find us on YouTube as well. And if you're looking for my fitness page, we have Unconditional Love Ibiza. And then for Facebook and on Instagram, it's Unconditional Love _Ibiza. So get that little Ibiza in there for sure. So brewed in Ibiza out of a love for black coffee, early mornings, and well-beings. This is Café Diem Ibiza. And I thank you very much, Neil Beechey, for being my 6th guest and taking the time to chat with me about your fascinating story and how very, very special you are. Never forget that. So,
and for a great show, by the way. It's you make a really good host, and it's nice for us fellow trainers on the island having to learn more about each other, as well as the audience to learn more about the island and us as well.
Absolutely. And maybe one day we'll be doing this on location somewhere beautiful in Ibiza, but until that happens, we stick in our living room with our coffees in our living room. So I really appreciate it, Neil. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and we will see everybody soon.
Thank you.
Adios.
Adios.